Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harris and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today I have a discussion for you on chapter 44 of book 1 of The Wandering Inn. Available to read for free on the Wandering Inn website. I assume you know this if you're following this read along with 22 episodes in now. So, this one's a good one. It's a Ryoka chapter. We love Ryoka here in this house. And a lot of pretty good fun stuff is happening in this one. So, first off, Ryoka and Garia are hanging out in an inn, and then Fals comes in. So Ryoka and Garia are like hanging out, and they're talking about Fals, and they're talking about how Garia is like built like a brick shit house, as British people would say. So she's muscular and very, very strong. And then Fals comes in, and Ryoka is pretty rude to him. He's like, "Oh, I want to talk to you about so and so, and about the Pursuer, and how I think he says that she's kicked out of the guild. Where was that? Ooh, I haven't missed a lot, but a lot happens before this conversation. Not a lot happens. A lot of description and like scene setting happens before the conversation with Fals. Somebody talks about Ryoka, about Pursuer maybe being kicked out of the guild, but maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I missed that completely. Anyway, so Fals comes over and he's like, "Oh, hey, like, you should kind of be careful." And he tries to ask her about the high passes and the monsters that she saw, and is like, "Oh, how did you survive and all this, this sort of thing." So very interesting. Oh, here we go. Here's the quote. It goes, "Watch yourself. Pursuer left the guild with her group this morning. She'll probably try something, even if the guild's watching her. She's gone mad." So False says that. And then basically straight away, Ryoka like tells him to F off, and then Pursuer comes in with Claudel, and I can't remember what the other guy's name is. Trista? Wait, Tariska. I was close. So Pursuer comes in with Claudel and Tariska, but also they bring in a heavy. So they bring in a massive muscular guy who just kind of stands near them, and Pursuer like tries to intimidate Ryoka, and Ryoka's just not having it. She's like, "Get lost, don't care," because she's Ryoka. And then this big burly guy gets involved, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna fight you unless you apologize." And she says, "Oh, you got to apologize to this guy says you got to apologize to Pursuer," and Ryoka's like, "No, actually," and then she throws her drink in his face, and he gets mad and tries to fight her. But obviously, we've learned from previous chapters that Ryoka knows Muay Thai, so she beats him up, or at least tries. So he's a bronze rank adventurer, which means that her standard like human strength and technique in a crowded room where she can't use the technique to its fullest means that she can't actually take him down. So she seems to hint that if they were in an open space, she'd probably be able to take him down, because she'd be able to like dodge all of his kicks and punches very easily, and eventually do like a big roundhouse or something, because she does try that a couple of times and it doesn't work because he's wearing armor. So this fight's pretty fun, but it almost looks like something bad's going to happen to Ryoka, and then Garia steps in and punches this guy one time, but she is so strong that she dents his armor and knocks him out with a single punch and punches him off the ground, like into the air and onto, like, she's that strong. And, you know, I think we always knew that there was something going on with Garia, that she had a bit more than meets the eye to her character and her skills and stuff. But the skill that she says to Ryoka that she's got is she's got enhanced strength. So basically, she, before she became a runner, was a farm worker, and farm workers get lesser strength pretty early on, but they can get enhanced strength. And both of those skills are also in the warrior tree, so it means that she's actually like as strong as an adventurer almost, I guess. She says that she didn't tell people that she was a farm worker because like they would make fun of her because it's one of the like lowest classes, because you're not even like a farmer who knows anything about farming, like you're literally just like doing the grunt work. So she's quite embarrassed about her history, although people can often like guess because she's so burly and like stocky. So that's the whole fight is really fun. There's some good text work with this "woomph" in massive letters. I really enjoyed that whole section, and I like getting to know more about Garia. I would like to spend more time with Garia in the same way that in Erin's story we've spent more time with her supporting cast. But I think because Ryoka does not care for other people, does not care to have friends, having a friend that pops up and is a recurring supporting character is a lot less likely for her. So yeah, c'est la vie. I'd like to, but I don't want Ryoka's character to change just so that like I can get to spend more time with Garia. Maybe give us some Garia POVs, pirate. So yeah, this is, they talk all about the strength and stuff, and Ryoka's then thinking like, oh, maybe I could, you know, could you game the system like min-maxing it like in an RPG game? Because so you can tell that Ryoka's a massive nerd. They're like, oh, maybe you could min-max it so you could like do a couple of months of farmhand, get the lesser strength, and then like be a really strong runner. And like that's quite an interesting thing. But then Garia's like, oh, it's random when you unlock skills. So that's something we didn't know. So the skills aren't unlocking on like a set path at a set time or at set levels, and you learn they're learned randomly. So she was like, oh, it's just luck that I managed to unlock enhanced strength, and even that took her working on her dad's farm for 14 years. So yeah, a big sacrifice to get that strength skill, and of course she had to have the luck of getting lesser strength early, is what it seems like she's saying. So in order to get her upgraded skill, she had to get lesser strength early, and we do know that Erin got lesser strength pretty early, so that could be something in her favour that we're looking, maybe she'll get. In fact, didn't she just get enhanced strength? I feel like that might have happened in the last chapter. I'm going to check. I'm going to lose my place in this chapter for the recap now. But I'm sure she got enhanced strength. I'm sure. Where are we? No. Okay, this is actually still a Ryoka chapter. So we're doing really well here, guys. Innkeeper level 12. Okay, enhanced strength. Does she get enhanced strength? No, she got loud voice. I'm sure she's got enhanced strength. I know she's got lesser strength. I'm sure I've seen the skill name enhanced strength before this chapter. I'm going to have to look it up for my own curiosity, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through this video while I do while I read through like 6 chapters to try and find it. So, Ryoka then says to Garia, like, oh, where's Cheeria and the Horns of Hammerand? And apparently they are in a city called Estelm, which is like a staging ground for going to Liskor to try the labyrinth. And Ryoka's like, oh, I'm going to go and meet them. I can run that in a single night. It's only 60 miles. Which, yeah, 60 miles you could run in a single night if you're a good runner. Barefoot, though, you'd have to rest for a long time, unless you're Ryoka, apparently. Anyway, so so she has to go to, she decides she's going to go to Esthelm, and Garia actually decides that she's probably going to do the same, to spend some more time with Ryoka and learn some basic Muay Thai, which Ryoka says she wants to teach her. So Ryoka is edging closer and closer to hanging out with Erin near Liscor, and Garia might be joining that team as well. So that's pretty exciting. The next thing you see is that Ryoka's goes to have like an hour's nap, and she's like, oh, she's going to take all of her stuff and go to Esthelm to see Cheeria and spend time with her. And Cheeria can also repair her iPhone, which I think is just recharging it. So that's something that's happening. Then we see the assassin. So the assassin that reported on Ryoka's going into the high passes to Magnolia, we now find out his name is Theophor, and he has been watching Ryoka, and he's sitting on the roof of her inn, basically making sure that nothing happens to her. And he even says that he was about to step in when Garia saved her in the bar, so that's fun. So he's complaining about how it's starting to get cold in his assassin gear on the roof, and he should need like a heating crystal or some sort of spell, and how he's been, he also mentions that he was hired by Magnolia, which we already knew from a previous assassin POV. And then just as he's settling in for the night almost on this rooftop, Ryoka climbs out the window, and she sees him, and then she just like has a little quick kick, and then she parkours away. So like proper, like, you know, The Office parkour style. She's jumping between buildings, she's rolling, she's running across the rooftops. That was pretty fun. And the assassin's like, well, obviously I can keep up with her because we're trained to outrun runners, you know. We're like, assassins are really fast and agile and whatnot. But she absolutely very easily kind of outmaneuvers him and runs away way faster than he can keep up. And then he's like, oh, this is so bad because Lady Magnolia is going to be really upset with me. And that's quite funny. And it says, oh, Magnolia would not be happy. She would not be happy at all. And then the next line is, Lady Magnolia was a happy woman almost all of the time. So that was quite funny. So Magnolia's gone to visit Ryoka, and at the inn, she's like finally giving up, and she's like, I'm going to go and proactively seek Ryoka out rather than waiting for her to come to me. She gets to the inn and she knocks on the door, and guess what? Ryoka's already gone, because that already happened, and Ryoka and Magnolia has just spent gold to clear the inn and get private time to have a conversation with Ryoka. So that's kind of funny. And she uses some sort of skill, because we've got pink text. We got some pink text here. So there's some sort of magic going on with Magnolia, and the chapter ends with Magnolia basically being annoyed that she's being like left outside and that Ryoka's there. So this was a fun chapter. Not too many events in this chapter, only really like 3 or 4 things to discuss. But all of those events were well written and kind of advanced the Ryoka story. This was a very like plot advance heavy chapter, I would say. Yeah, enjoyed this one. I'm going to read another chapter probably now or tomorrow morning first thing, and this will be for next week because I'm going to be away all next week, so all of next week's video is being made in advance. But hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have anything you want to chat about, I will still be reading the comments while I'm away, and I'll still be replying, just not making any new videos until I get back. So please do like this video if you liked it, drop a comment down below if you want to chat with me about this week's chapters, and please do subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when any new Wandering Inn episodes come out. Thanks so much for watching this one, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.